Parker and Davis here on The Pledge. Every Christmas without fail, I watch this movie.
What do you want? You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down. Hey, that's a pretty good idea. I'll give you the moon, Mary.
I'll take it. Then what?
Gives me goosebumps, Davis. It's Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed, and It's a Wonderful Life. It's an awesome, awesome movie, and we have an awesome opportunity to talk to Donna Reed's daughter, Mary Owen, who is on the line right now. Good morning, Mary. Thank you very much for being here, and Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas. It's my pleasure, and hello to everyone out there in Radio Land.
So, Mary, growing up with this movie and your mom, I'm sure you were always peppered with lots of questions because it has become a classic Christmas film, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. Well, it's got an interesting history because it really came back to life through the television. And then now it's being shown all over the country on the big screen again, which is the best way to see it.
So it's 1946. We fast forward a little bit, and she lands the role as Mary Bailey, and It's a Wonderful Life. What did she tell you about the movie and getting that role?
So she didn't talk that much about it, too much, but I know that it was a huge opportunity for her, and also she was under contract with MGM. So my father, who she'd been married to, Tony Owen, for a little less than a year. He was an agent at the time, and so he helped her negotiate her contract so she could be loaned out Frank Capra's Liberty Films, which was his own company that he started after World War II.
And Frank Capra, of course, the director of the film, is another classic. I mean, people have fallen in love with his work. Did she ever allude to the fact of what it was like to work with him, or even how the making? Because the film was not a big hit when it came out. I mean, that's kind of everybody knows that, and it really found its life much later. I read somewhere, and I was shocked to read it, is that at one point Jimmy Stewart kind of blamed your mom. Is that true?
That is true. Stewart and Capra had had such success together before the war in other films, and so they were back together, and Mom was less known at the time. So, and there was a lot of insecurity because of, they both, Capra and Jimmy Stewart, had participated in World War II in different ways, and so they were away from Hollywood for 5 years. So when they came back, It's a Wonderful Life was their first film together, and there was a lot of insecurity on the set. And Mom thought maybe it was because of her, because she was less known and there was a lot riding on her performance. But it was really this feeling that, maybe they didn't have what it took to make movies anymore, which of course was not true. And then the movie didn't do well, and Jimmy Stewart did end up blaming my mother for that.
Which I think for those of us who are also huge Jimmy Stewart fans, you're like, how could you be so cruel? But I understand it's business. Growing up as the child of a Hollywood icon, actress, and of course the Donna Reed show. I grew up with Donna Reed. I mean,
me too.
Everybody wanted to be Donna Reed. Even my mother was the whole Donna Reed movement. What was that like? I mean, how was that for you?
I don't know how to explain it. It's very odd reality, but she was a great. She still was a great mom. She was very down to earth. She never lost her, her Iowa grounding, and it never went to her head or anything like that. She was very private at home and just tried to be a mother.
See, and I think that sweetness comes out, Mary, in the character of Mary Bailey. That's why so many people can identify with her. And over the years, we do watch that movie every single year, and no matter where I am as far as my disposition, that movie brings me up. Why do you think that has that effect at Christmas time on just about everybody who sees that movie?
I know, it's fascinating because when you think about it, it's a movie about suicide, okay? And but there, you can pretty much guarantee that no matter how you feel when the movie starts, you're going to feel much better by the time the movie ends. And next year it's going to be 70 years old, and it's still speaking to us, and it's still fresh. And, I see something different every time I see it each year, and it's just really a nearly flawless movie.
I have to agree. It is a nearly flawless movie. It takes us to a time when we wish we could have that innocence and that final scene and the scene where Mary Bailey goes out and gets everybody back together to help out George. George Bailey's in trouble.
Yeah.
We all want to believe that our neighbors, our friends, everyone's got our back. And that scene at the close is so beautiful when she I love this. She dumps the hamper out and she puts it in front of him and she says, watch, George. Just watch what's going to happen. It's a wonderful scene.
George, it's a miracle. It's a miracle.
At this point, where life has become a little bit more like Pottersville than Bedford Falls, I think it's really nice to feel that hope is still a very real thing to feel and to have in your life.
Mary Owen, daughter of Donna Reed, star of It's a Wonderful Life. Thank you for this conversation, because I'll tell you, your mom's work with Frank Capra and Jimmy Stewart has given us a wonderful, wonderful tradition and something to look forward to, because, in fact, it is a wonderful life.
Come, Daddy. Come, Daddy. Come in, Uncle Billy. Everybody in here.
George,